Hey guys, this is Hair Speaks, and this video is talking about the line of demarcation. For a lot of you, you're new to the hair journey, new to Hairlista, new to YouTube, and a lot of these terms you've never heard before. Well, let me explain the line of demarcation. That's where the new growth meets the relaxed ends. And so you have that. If you're relaxed, then you have that all over your head. It's not just in certain places, it's all over. You have that line of demarcation. And if you texlax, which is under processing your hair, where you're not relaxing it bone straight. So if you are under process, then it's going to be kind of hard to determine where the line of demarcation is, because your texlax hair looks a little bit similar to your natural curl pattern, your new growth, your so-called kinky whatever. So the line of demarcation is very fragile, very, very fragile. That's where you can, wow, I'm saying that a lot, ain't I? But the line of demarcation is very fragile, and that's where the hair tends to break off at. That's why it's important that you use low manipulation hairstyles while you are stretching your relaxer. I use them just all the time. I just use, protective styles all the time. So, let's see. Yeah, the line of demarcation. You have got to make sure that your hair stays moisturized. You've got to make sure that your hair stays protected from over manipulation. And so for me, what I do to make sure that that line of demarcation doesn't, get the best of me, and you'll know that your hair is breaking at the line of demarcation, say like in the back. When I was a kid and we went to foster care, I told you guys about that. We went to foster care and we came home to our mom, and she didn't know anything about relaxed hair care. She knew how to grow our hair when it was natural, but she did not know how to grow it relaxed. And so she would continue to comb our hair regularly, and our hair broke off at the line of demarcation. So in the back of our hair, we had like this much naps, this much kinkiness, this much 4A, 4B hair, while all the relaxed ends was just every day just breaking off. And so all over, it looked like we had our hair shaved in the back. It was so crazy. And for some reason, the line of demarcation, our hair wasn't really breaking out. Well, it was on the edges, on the sides some, but it wasn't in the back. I guess that's because to this day I have a looser curl pattern in the top part of my head. So anyway, so I remembered that when I found out about the line of demarcation, which was about 2 years, close to 2 years ago, that's when I was like, okay, it all made sense to me why our hair was that short all over. And so that happens to a lot of people now. They don't realize the fragileness, the importance of the line of demarcation. So I would make sure that your hair, your new growth, your roots, make sure that your hair is softened at all times. Soften, 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 because if your hair is softened, you have less of a chance of your hair breaking at the line of demarcation. And you soften it by co-washing. I sleep, almost every night I'm sleeping in VO5 conditioner. And in the morning time, this is what I do. I air dry before I go to work. I just do this. And then I'll style it, probably put it in a bun or something, and I'm off to work. But, yeah. So to protect my line of demarcation, which I really don't have right now because I'm less than 2 weeks post relaxer. Yes, this is relaxed hair, believe it or not. I had some reversion, some hair reverted. Excuse me. And so just make sure that your line of demarcation is babied, and you will be able to retain length. You have to watch how you comb it. You have to watch, make sure it's moisturized. Make sure that you're also taking care of your ends. If you want to see length, take care of your ends. But when you moisturize and seal your hair, make sure that you pay close attention to the line of demarcation, to make sure that you're not overworking it, that you're not pulling the hair up too tight, the hair will snap at the line of demarcation. I mean, it's just that drastic. And then once you relax your hair, that line of demarcation disappears. It disappears, and it um and you get a new line of demarcation like maybe 4 or 5 weeks later, where the new growth meets the relaxed ends. So prior to my hair journey, I had no idea what I was doing wrong. I just knew that, you know, I had a friend. We was at a tent revive, and we were sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop relaxing my hair. I'm just gonna stop relaxing it. I'm gonna stop combing it, because I was just so fed up with my hair getting a certain length and then breaking off. And she told me, she was like, bless her heart, she didn't know, but she was like, you know what, your hair will. I guess she was kind of right, but she said, your hair fall out if you don't keep relaxing it. And the only reason why I can come up with why she said that is because she didn't realize that there are ways of taking care of that line of demarcation to where you can go without relaxers for a long period of time and just take care of that line. So, for those of you who are transitioning, this may be helpful because you don't want to do the big chop. If you don't want to do the big chop, but you still want to maintain your length while you're transitioning, just be careful of that line of demarcation. And as your new growth grows out, so will the line of demarcation. And for some of you that's been transitioning for a while, your line may be right here, while mine's in about 4 weeks is going to be way up here. So it's like wherever you have little short hairs all over your head, more than likely your hair broke off at the line of demarcation, or that was a strand that came out. It went through its course and it came out and it's growing back. But as I'm stretching, when I was like 12 weeks post, a couple weeks ago, I was looking around for signs of breakage at the line of demarcation, and if I noticed too many small hairs, I was going to relax, which of course I did anyway. But that's an indication right there that you're not doing a good job of taking care of that line of demarcation, and that's when it would be time to relax, for whatever reason. And so also, another important tip, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down, is that when you get braids, I would strongly suggest that you wait until you get an inch or so of new growth. That way, when you're getting your hair braided, they're braiding the new growth. They're pulling that new growth up instead of pulling up the hair instead of pulling up just relaxed hair, because the new growth has more elasticity in it, and you will be able to braid in. Your hair will be able to have that line of demarcation braided, intertwined into the weave braids, so the extensions, the tracks, whatever. But you'll be able to cover and hide your line of demarcation. But as your stretch goes on, you'll notice that your hair gets drier and drier and drier. It's going to need more and more moisture. And so the further along the weeks you get from your relaxer. And so that's when the line of demarcation, I've said that at least 1,000 times, that's when it becomes endangered more so. So getting braids that far into a stretch, I wouldn't suggest. However, there are some people that will. But this is Hair Speaks. I've spoken. Got to go.